This is Sarah, blog editor, and I'm here with Tim Segowitz. He's an advisor to Twigg. This series of interviews is designed to introduce citizens to noble members of the community. So we're going to jump right in. First of all, welcome, Tim. How are you?
Appreciate it. Doing great. Thanks for having me.
All right, I'm excited to get into this. LeBoomington had recommended you highly for an interview. So why don't you start us off with kind of who you were pre-crypto?
Yeah, for sure. First of all, shout out to LeBoomington. Know him actually since day one in Neo Tokyo. So really great citizen. Had a lot of contact with him in past projects. So really great guy. Thanks for that in the first place. Yeah, pre-crypto. Maybe I should give like a really small intro from where I came from. So I actually made a apprenticeship as an industrial engineer here in Germany where I live. So that took place for around like 3 to 4 years. After that, since I'm a really innovative thinker, I found out a bit about how games are produced, etc. So I joined the digital landscape, then learned a bit more about marketing. Since it was basically the come up from Meta ads back in the days, Facebook ads and Google ads and stuff like that. I then built my own marketing agency in the space and worked for different clients here in Germany. Additionally to that, I also scaled an online education company here, basically 20 minutes away where I live in Germany from some revenue to some revenue. I don't really think we should count numbers, but it was in the mid 7 figures then when I basically exited the company there. After that, I enjoyed actually the core of marketing, which is basically evaluating data, where does data come from and stuff like that. And then somehow I found out about blockchain. So I asked myself, what is blockchain? How can blockchain technology actually somehow help humanity? How can we fix different problems with it? Especially where, I'm coming from Germany. We're a highly bureaucracy country, I would say, where stuff takes a really long time. So I also try actually to get this a bit bigger over here in Germany, since everything is so slow and the digital verification of something is quite hard. So I went to that route and joined crypto with the buy of Ethereum in the first place in 2017. Then I worked at a company I was mentioning with the online education platform. After that, I just wanted to have a new adventure. And then I found out about Style Protocol, where I was at the past. We basically built a product to bring NFTs into games. And then left actually Style Protocol in 2023. So I was there, nearly 2 years or so, from really the beginning where Style Protocol didn't exist until the product launch. Did everything there on the marketing side, and also worked a bit on the product side in Figma, how we actually built the MVP, how was the workflow, worked together with developers, did the marketing stuff together there with the team, executed basically everything what you can imagine in Web3 from the marketing perspective, and also building the product side. We were a bit too early, I think, for that. But right now, there are more and more games coming out. What we also see and hear from Neo Tokyo day by day. And lastly, I found Twigg, since I'm just enjoying the thing is, I'm in my 30s, and kind of goal of mine is in my 30s to basically get as much, how can you say it, experience in different aspects of Web3, because Twigg is just a completely different aspect of Web3 than Style Protocol. Style Protocol is more on the gaming side. Twigg is more on the storytelling, IP, reader/publishing side. So currently, I'm the CMO of Twigg, but also an advisor of TwiggX, which is basically their, we call it in Germany the daughter company. I don't really know what it's called in English, but that's basically the background from where I came from, actually up until today.
Okay, there's a lot in there. You got us through quite a bit. Let's back up a little bit and get the story of how you got into Neo Tokyo.
That was actually, I think I can quite straight up say that majority of Neo Tokyo came through Neo Tokyo because of Alex Becker. And I think all the people who were basically watching the YouTube videos from Alex from back in the days where he talked about YouTube ads and Facebook ads and basically all the marketing side, sorry, somehow people watched this potentially too. And then I was one of them who followed him also on Twitter, where he basically, in the crypto world, he plays somehow a different character, like a WWE guy with his very cool and funny videos. I love them until today. Then somehow it came out that he starts a riddle / starts an NFT collection, and that's how that was basically my way into Neo Tokyo. So from his Facebook, i.e. ad secrets, I would say, from the digital platforms up until to the NFT collection. So I think I started following him in beginning of 2019, and Neo Tokyo, then the riddle started, I think, in September 2020. Or was it 2021? No, September 2021, my bad. Yeah, September 2021. And November then was the mint date around that, yeah.
And you were a day one mentor, so you went through all the early riddles. Do you have the same trauma tells as everyone else?
Yes, I have. Never sold. Did all the code hunting actually together with a cool group. I have connections to the group where we actually solved it. Was a bit unfortunate because only like 3 of 15 people. We were like a small group, like a smaller side group where we went through all of this. Like only 3 of the 15 went into Neo Tokyo, like through the mint, and only with like one other guy I'm in contact with, like the other sold something somewhen. I don't really know when.
So run me through the early days of you and Neo Tokyo. I know you've done some work with Style Protocol and some other projects. Give us a rundown of what you've done, who you've worked with in Neo Tokyo.
It was quite a bit actually. So in the first place, so this is basically on top of my mind. It's been 3 years since we actually had the Discord, built a different what is the name again? I said community council or divisions. Divisions is the right word. The different divisions. So as a day one guy, like we had like these like 10 to 15 channels where Becker like was all day ranting about, you guys, if you don't have near 6 figures in your bag, just sell it. And he basically put pressure on people who not really had that big chunk of money, I would say, to actually sell. And I mean, as a guy who studied somehow marketing for a few years, I had the feeling that there is something more coming down the road, and that we even get like somehow connections to him and stuff like that. So he was quite cool with like communicating with us in the first place. Now I get it that he's not really that often in the Discord, so compared to back in the days. But how Neo Tokyo went down the road, I found it super cool, since we're one of the few NFT projects who actually survived the past 3 years, which you can quite say, I think, with all the gaming connections we have, all the, I would say even industry connections we have. I mean, if I went to different conferences in 2021 and 2022, when I was at Style Protocol, like nearly every gaming project knew Neo Tokyo. So I thought it was a really big thing. And with people I worked with, I'm quite honest, in 3 years, it's been 3 years. There were honestly many. LeBoomington, obviously, in the first place, like I shouted him out in the first place. He did some great video stuff for Style Protocol in the past, and I think he's working on it currently, but I'm not 100% sure about that. But I think he's doing it.
Well, we are talking through avatars built by Style Protocol right now in this recording. So it's definitely something. I mean, tell us a little bit about what you did for Style Protocol.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is in the first place, I never want somehow credit for it, but like for Style Protocol, it was, in my opinion, up until today, one of the biggest steps to just get in contact with Neo Tokyo. the founder Leo knows everything on my end. We split paths. We were really cool about all of this. But yeah, the connection just made it to where they are at right now and how they basically got viewed in the space. So we also were in this, I need to remember what it was. It's called the D-Den contest, I think, where we actually competed with super huge projects back in the day, where we then got somehow funding money and stuff like that. I also then like get in contact with Thrasher, like the Solidity coder for Neo Tokyo, because he was basically on Byte. We were on the last four projects on this D-Den contest, where it was led by Damon. Oh, Damon is a big contact person, because I'm also up until today in the PRP program. So yeah, if somehow any citizen wants to reach out, I mean, you guys saw what I did with Style Protocol. If you need any advice, totally for free, just message me.
That's actually, let's get into that, because it seems like you have a wide skill set. Your marketing company has brought someone to 7 figures. What is your main expertise if a citizen wants to reach out to
you? I would say the main expertise is from what I've learned in the past is that not really, it sounds weird, but not really the Web 2 ways work in Web 3. That is a really huge thing I learned. Also, if he's ever looking that, shout out to AJ. His citizen name is, well, I can't even remember. It's Blockchain Meta, I think. He's also like one of the big marketing guys. I also had a lot of contacts with him. But yeah, the main core thing is in Web 3. Elon even made a tweet about it lately. So the meme part of crypto is a super insane marketing thing in Web 3, which I heavily need to try to understand up until today, how everything can be laid up on a foundation of like a meme. Because I mean, it's working. It's obviously working. Projects are doing it. So the thing, what I potentially could call in Web3 a skill is I understand the meme culture, I think. I know how to leverage memes. We also did it with Style Protocol in the past, and we also have it in plans with Twigg to also leverage memes somehow. Memes are billion-dollar coins in the space. Solana wouldn't have been there where it is right now with memes. So, I mean, the place is somehow, compared to my Web 2 experience, super weird, because in Web 2, it's super straight. You build a funnel, you throw in ads, you have a good product, you get customers. In Web 3, it's totally the different standpoint. You basically can get an insane amount of customers without even having a product, which is basically not working in Web 2. If you don't have something to use, you don't have anything, I would say. And that's somehow what I've learned in Web 3. And yeah, I worked with teams. Product-wise is a good thing. I did build a whole MVP together with developers. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot there. It sounds like there is a plethora of expertise people can pick through. Now let's micro focus here on what you're currently working on. So you mentioned Twigg, and I'm definitely familiar. We've talked to Stephen before. I think we've even had him. Well, I don't know if we've had him on this episode, but we have done articles on what he's been working on inside of NT News. So what are you doing over at Twigg? Give us the rundown of what it is.
Yeah, for sure. So the main part, I guess, I would say from Q1 and also until the end of Q2 in 2024 was basically like creating the whole go-to-market strategy. Like, how can we even make the product, or how can I phrase it the best way? Like, how do we actually precisely, one, fit into the Web3 market as a digital publishing company in Web3? Two, how can we have, or basically how can we translate our value proposition over to everyone, that Amazon KDP pays literally nothing nowadays compared to a decentralized publishing company who's basically creating a token and a whole ecosystem around a story you create. Like that is like, I think the core value proposition what we have, because yeah, it's just the comparison, and you're just the owner of your IP with us and stuff like that. So that was the core thing. It's quite tough actually to also like reverse engineer things like that, to set yourself into a seat of a publisher who's even a seasoned publisher, wants to make a very good living off of that, and then think about it. Why do I want to go to Twig instead to somewhere else potentially? Then yeah, that was basically like every day I worked with also Edward Carpenter together. He's a writer, very, very good writer. We basically then, yeah, it's quite tough because it's actually, there are so many things you need to think about from a writer's perspective, and also like from the Web3 perspective. And we also did it in different stages where somehow you wrote a short story, you wrote an science fiction novel or something like that about a futuristic thing, and yeah, we even have the plans to somehow incorporate AI, where an AI builds your world to your story while you're writing the story and stuff like that. So it's not really only like black letters on a white paper and somebody enjoys it to read. So we also dive into a potential three-dimensional space which gets created off of your story. So it's not really like the small things where people then, I mean, I'm enjoying books too, but the thing is, we're going into a more digitalized space. We have Apple Vision Pro coming up and stuff like that, which gets us even more digital into a digital world. Obviously, that is a whole other topic we can talk about pros and cons and stuff like that. But mainly regarding to the aspect of Twig is, people can then dive into the story while a writer is writing it, and potentially AI is, in my opinion, I work every day with AI. I work with AI. AI gets so good that we have movies in the next 1 or 2 years from it. So it's not that far away. It's crazy actually to think about. It gets better and better. So yeah, that was basically Q1 and Q2. Like really think about what makes us stand out between all these huge publishing companies. Why would a reader go to a decentralized publishing company instead of another huge one, which they potentially get a marketing push with huge amounts of followers? Yeah, and basically that re-engineering thing, talking to established readers, what they want to see, like getting the feedback loop in, and then basically, that's basically what I learned from Alex Becker actually back in the days. Like you have like these 10 to 15 to 20 customers. You basically build product for these 10, 15, 20 perfectly fitting customers for your product. You build it for them, because when you build it for them, you build it for everyone else.
And so just to summarize, because it's been a while since I've talked to you guys about Twig, and I want to make sure I have this right. So with Twig, writers can go to this publishing platform, publish their stories, make it immersive, and then readers can then kind of engage with the writers they want to write with in a decentralized manner. Is that do I have that right?
That's basically the perfect summarized plan what we have, yeah.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure I got that. All right. Well, I've definitely been watching Steven, and now I'm going to watch you because I didn't know you were working with Twig as well, and we'll see how that one turns out. Let's take this beyond Neo Tokyo, beyond crypto. We'll get to know Tim with our last question. Give us who you are outside of this digital universe. What are your hobbies? What do you enjoy doing? Something we can all relate to.
I also have between, like, I need to mention this because it's also like in a digital space. So I'm also trading. Like, I don't know if someone calls like buying or selling meme coins trading, but I'm like really trading. I'm trading like stocks, options, crypto, futures, whatever you need to know about trading. That's something I do here in Germany, basically in the morning and in the evening. Which is basically, somehow I found that good times to do. I think it comes from my personality. I did some personality tests, and that I'm like a creative, forward-looking thinker and stuff like that. And that I also somehow enjoy data, and marketing and trading somehow is regarding to the data the same, I would say, because at the one side you need to evaluate, okay, how can I make the product attractive to people, and the other side is, how can I interpret if the stock goes up or down? It's somehow also both things are correlated to data somehow, and you can interpret your own viewpoints to both and stuff like that. So that's, yeah, I would say 1/3 actually of my day for now. The other third, I just cut it in threes, I would say. I'm really heavy into stuff like biohacking and sports. So I'm 33 years old right now, and I've been playing football. Like in Germany, it's football. UK is soccer. Football since I'm 5, and continuing doing that. Nothing hurts. The hips don't hurt, the knees don't hurt, so everything is fine. So I enjoy soccer with that's basically my socializing point, going out into nature, running, jogging. I also am heavily into snow sports like skiing and snowboarding. I also do that since I'm 3. So I'm also heavy on that. Every winter I go to Austria or Italy or the French Alps, and then drive ski and snowboard there with friends. And outside of that, since I'm living in a smaller city here in southwest Germany, where I can basically look outside the window and only see the woods, have no like huge town. I basically enjoy living here. And what else?
All right, I got a follow-up question. So you mentioned biohacking, and we have a lot of Becker followers, and he's heavily into that. I'm all for it. I'm all for staying young and healthy as long as you can. Give us like, I don't know, your top 3 biohacking, go-tos.
Oh, that's actually super straightforward. Potentially for that in the first place, I also need to mention Gary Brecker. He's one of the biggest like biohacking guys in the whole space. He did it as a, what is it called? Human biologist, I guess he is. I also follow him like prior, where he did the partnership together with Grant Cardone. Like I follow him like a really long time. I could even say like nearly 2.5 or 3 years. And I think his biggest breakthrough was when he started his podcast on Spotify, like The Ultimate Human. So I just enjoy it, because the thing is, when you're playing soccer, going to the gym above 30, you're basically only in the recovery mode. You don't really have like that let's say 1 or 2 or 3 days where somehow nothing is sore, because everything is sore. And I just want to find for myself a way where I potentially can speed up my recovery. And then I dig deep into that. I read books. I found Gary Brecker, tested different diets, made also some blood tests. So I would say my biggest 3, it's honestly super easy. Drink a lot of water, go outside into the sun, and just exercise. That's like, it's the 3 most easiest things you can do, and you stay young through that, honestly.
Very simple. Yes, I like those tips, because there's something we all know how to do, but often don't do it enough. One more follow-up question before we wrap this up. You mentioned back just a little bit ago taking a personality test.
Yep.
Now that one, I know people do that, but I've never heard someone kind of like do it to almost help their performance or whatever. What made you decide to take a personality test, and which one did you take? Is this something we should all be doing?
Yeah, for sure. So my dad also has his own company here, and I actually learned that from him, because actually, if a human being does a really honest personality test, everyone knows, like, in the first place, how to talk to them. In my opinion, you can get to know each other really fast. And that's basically where I saw, actually also in my dad's company and also in companies I worked back in the days, that's where most companies actually burned money in the first place, because people need to be trained in some positions. Maybe the trainer for this hired person, they talked completely wrong to the person because they are potentially super creative, but they didn't know that, and actually trained them on something which is correlated to data, which you don't need to be creative for. That's why I took it, and that's why I also need to be quite honest. In the companies I were back in the days, I also did application talks, interviews with different people for different positions, and I just learned that right off the bat. I know that sounds weird, but right off the bat, that sounds potentially really harsh for everyone who's listening to that. But I knew after the test if the person does fit to us or not. It's just what it is. I know the tests. I know basically every result of the test. I know all the personalities from the test. It's called 16personalities.com. It's just a super huge personality website where you can do that. I think there are millions and millions of tests done the last few, I don't know, months or years or so. I was at the page where I'm just currently looking at the page. I was there when they only took like 50 to 60,000 per day. Now they're at 600,000 per day. So they're insanely huge. It's wild, yeah. So I did that actually in 2018 in the first place. So that's basically how long I know about this personality structure thing, and learned a lot of leadership in there, because the thing is, I'm an ENTP personality type, so I'm a bit more into the leader thing. I know I'm also the captain on our soccer team. That's somehow potentially correlated to that. I know how to lead people. I know how to motivate them. I know potentially how people, or will people fit into different positions where we hire them for. But yeah, I don't. It's just the job market today, and yeah, everyone who I put onto teams in the last few years, I let them do the test, and yeah, I need to be quite honest. I also didn't look at degrees or something like that. I basically knew right off the bat if someone is potentially like went application for a, I don't know, machine learning engineer, but they are like super creative in the personality test. That could be a good thing, but I know that creative people somehow cannot really focus good on making decisions based on data, which people in my opinion in the machine learning space need to do. So that's potentially where it summarizes it together.
I learned something new today, and I know I'm not going to be the only one that finishes this and goes and wants to take a personality test to kind of see what's going on. I'm gonna try it out. I kind of am curious what other citizens will be. This was a great conversation, and we're out of time. We're gonna wrap this up. So this is Sarah, Block Editor. Today we had Tim Segowitz. He's an advisor for Twigg and one of your notable Neo Tokyo citizens. And we will be back next week with another episode.